So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. We are trying to get more in the spooky mood with things. It's September. In case you didn't know, Halloween is my absolute favourite time of year. So yeah, it might be premature decorating, but also I don't care. Okay, so let's talk about episode 3. Usually when I do the reaction, it's my first time seeing the episode and then I watch it again as I'm editing my reaction, and then I usually just watch it again just because. I feel like it was a good episode. It stood up well with the other two that we've seen, but so far it's not my favourite that we've seen out of the 3. It had its strong points, yeah, but there was just some moments in it that I was like, okay, but why? One thing that got people all up in a fucking heap is the horse scene. Now look, you always get those few edgelords in the comments that are like, they've eaten dog before and they've done this before or whatever the fuck, and it's like, yeah, it's still pretty extreme when you see someone slit a horse's throat on camera. I'm like, did that really need to be shown? Could you not have just alluded to it? I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't seeing, I just didn't think that scene would be a thing that I was going to see when I sat down to watch the episode. Look, I love gore, I love horror, it's one of my favourite things ever, so it's not that shocking, but at the same time I was like, okay, but why? This season so far has been good at like planting little seeds without having to show stuff. So like when you saw baby Herschel saying like, oh, it's not as bad as the spiders, it's like, you sweet little child, what the fuck have you had to eat in the past? You had to eat spiders? Holy Christ, tell me your stories. Again, you got a little bit of backstory from Maggie. I've said it, I don't know, did I say it in a review video or did I say it in a reaction video? But like, she just, I don't know, she has a whole bunch of stories that she needs to tell us that I have a feeling she's not going to tell us, and she's just going to drop a story on us each time something big and impactful happens, and it's like, she's been missing for so long. I would rather her just sit down and tell us what she got up to, exactly what happened, rather than hearing her story in like small little bits and pieces along the way. But I don't know where I was going with that point. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about the intro to this episode and how crazy it was. I when it comes to scenes like that, I like scenes that are just a little bit more like easy to see. That the intro was just so chaotic and there was so much happening and so much movement that it was kind of hard to keep up with what you were seeing or what was going on. But yeah, cracker of a fucking intro. It confused, startled and interested. So, my favourite scene from the entire episode, by far, the kids sitting down at the table. I kind of touched on it a little bit with baby Herschel. But like, I don't know, there's just something about seeing the kids all sit together and just like discuss their parents. It is just so wild. We saw most of these kids when they were still babies. I mean, we saw Judith when she was still in her mother's stomach. So like, it's wild now to see them as actual little people with thoughts and to see them discussing what's going on with each other is crazy. And they always say the kids, like, you know, kids are so smart, you know that, but seeing them talk about their parents and the fact that they kind of lie to make themselves feel better or to make the kids feel better, and to see that they register that is like, holy shit. I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised at the Alden thing, because I didn't think his wounds were that severe. It looked like he got scraped by someone that was a little claw happy, sure, but it didn't look like it was enough to kill him, but apparently it is. My man's dying in the church. One thing the season is doing for sure is it's raising a lot of questions about like your morality, your thought process, your reasoning behind stuff. And I feel like Maggie is just a little bit all over the place with where she's at mentally. Now again, yeah, she's been through a lot and I'm guessing that's had like a huge impact on where she stands. But like we saw her snap at Negan inside the church where she's like, you don't get to say who lives and dies anymore. And it's like, alright, well that's fair and it's understandable why she'd be like, fuck you, you're not the man in charge right now. So she can feel a little bit more secure in knowing that yeah, he's not calling the shots. He can just go ahead and shut the fuck up. But at the same time, she let Gage die. Whether you agree with it or not, that's a decision that she made. So that was kind of playing God a little bit. And with the whole Alden situation, yeah, he was slowing them down, but her choosing to leave him behind again is a decision that she made. So while she's kind of snapping at Negan every now and again, she's still making the choices that he would probably make. So it's like, oh. Maggie's kind of like Daryl in a way. She's such a fan favourite and people are so passionate about her. So I don't blame people for getting defensive whenever anything negative is said about her character. But at the same time, I do feel like the writers are a little bit all over the place with her decision making this season. And if not decision making, then maybe just her lines. There's certain things she's saying that I'm like, someone made a very good point in the comments. Someone left a comment and they said that while she was standing in the train and while Gage was just about to die or dying or being ripped apart, this person said that all they could think of was Glenn would have saved him. And I am kind of inclined to agree. I feel like had Glenn been there, he probably would have tried to save the kid. Now Glenn wasn't there because of Negan, I know, but like, I think when you survive this far into the apocalypse, you know, you've seen shit, you've done shit, you've allowed shit to happen, you probably had a breakdown or two along the way. It's just the way shit goes. So like, you're not going to go into season 11 of a show the same person you were back when you first entered the show. So it's completely understandable. But at the same time, I just feel like a lot of her interactions with Negan are a tad bit hypocritical. And it's so funny, it just makes me laugh so much because whenever I say that, like, I love Negan's character. I don't think he's a good person, but I think he's a well-written and a well-portrayed character, and every time he's on screen there's going to be drama. That's what I mean when I say I love Negan. But, like, whenever I say that, I get people going, oh, you're a Negan sympathizer, fuck you. But then when I say, yeah, but, like, Maggie has a point too, like, you know, he killed her husband, she's never going to forgive him. Then I have people being like, oh my god, you like Maggie, what the fuck? So it's like, I feel like when it comes to the Maggie-Negan situation, you can't really win. And it has people so super divided, but I guess that's the sign of, like, an interesting plot. It'd be worse if people are like, I don't care, don't give a fuck, move on. Father Gabe is a little something that, let's just say he caught my eye this episode, okay? Okay. I made a comment about Gabe and how, you know, he's an attractive man, yeah. But I didn't expect the amount of people that agreed with me to agree with me. So Father Gabe has us all out here thinking in pure thoughts, and I'm just like, woo, at least I'm not the only fucking one, alright? Alright. Your one died, she got her arm bitten off, can't remember her name. There's a lot of characters like that I feel like were brought in and they weren't really given a chance to shine. Like, we've had 3 deaths in the last 2 episodes, and I have to be honest, none of them really impacted me all that much, with the exception maybe of Gabe, just because I think the whole situation and the setting was, like, really claustrophobic and stressful, and then the questions that are raised. But, like, yeah, we've had, like, a few deaths, and I'm like, I guess that's what happens when you have such a big, like, ensemble cast, when you have so many people that it's like not everyone will get their chance to make a huge impact anyway. I'm sure there was people out there that liked her character. You're one that got bit. I did love the ending in the church. I did love that we got that real unlikely kind of allyship with Negan and Maggie. How long will it last? You know what? Probably not long. Doesn't matter. Still interesting to see, and it's going to be interesting to watch people respond to it. I think that's part of why I love the Maggie Negan storyline so much. It's not so much like seeing them on screen, because it is kind of the same thing rehashed over and over. It's her being like, I hate you, fuck you, and Negan being like, I don't really care. But seeing fans respond to it, and seeing fans get so heated, it's something you don't see a whole lot. But that is probably one of the most sensitive topics regarding the show, and I love it. I love watching people pop off. But yeah, Alden, I feel like, I don't know. He's a really weird character, because when he first came into the show, like, I was so suspicious of him. And I said this as well in a comment to somebody recently, that, like, he joined our group, and for episodes, I was like, yeah, I still don't trust this motherfucker. I'm still going to keep a fucking eye on him. So I feel like I was just so suspicious of him until it just gradually went away, but I never really calmed down about his character. So, like, hearing him then be like, oh, you know why I joined your group, Maggie? And it's like, oh yeah, I remember now, you were a fucking savior. A lot of people were saying they didn't realise he was a dad. I can't remember when that was brought up, or if it was brought up. Maybe it was shown to us in a previous episode briefly. But yeah, apparently he's a dad. Being honest, the last thing I can kind of remember about Alden was the whole Alden and Enid storyline, which was like 3 seasons ago, I think. Still, seeing a character that's been with us now for a good few seasons, seeing them at death's door getting ready to just hop off the show, it's strange and it's kind of bittersweet. I have a feeling he will die. Otherwise, what the fuck was the point in all this, unless it was just to, I don't know, poke at Maggie's morality a little bit more. But I think we're probably going to come back to the church and he's going to be all walkified, chilling, like, what's up, Mags? I am liking the fact that I feel like they're taking kind of smaller steps per episode. They're not trying to give you too much, because like, especially with the last season, there's a lot of storylines they gotta wrap up. There's a lot of shit they gotta explain, but I'm happy they're not giving us too much all at once. Because it would be a lot to take in, and they are not... It doesn't really feel really anthology style, but it does at the same time. I suck at explaining anything. Dealing with the smaller amount of storylines or a smaller amount of characters per episode, I feel like it just works better for this show. I'm just skimming through my own reaction to make sure I didn't miss any points I wanted to touch on, and I came across that horse scene again. Holy fuck. I still stand by that. I think that's crazy. I mean, I get why they did it and it's understandable, but like, yeah. The thing about that is, like, I feel like when it comes to The Walking Dead, you become so desensitized to gore and to, like, people getting their faces bitten off, their arms ripped clean out of their sockets, their skin peeled off and worn as costumes. So I feel like people kind of get a little bit desensitized to stuff, and then when you show emotion at gore, people are like, oh my god, do you even know what fucking show you're watching, you little bitch? And it's like, alright, I simply said I think a bit of horse eating is kind of shocking. Well, fuck me for having an opinion. But I think in a way it's good too, because like for a show to be in its 11th season and still find ways to shock people or catch people off guard. Fair play, Walking Dead. Fair play. But yeah, you guys, that is it for this little chat. The link to my Patreon is down below, where I do a more extended, or I post a more extended version of the reaction. Because if you guys have Twitter, or if you guys keep up with any of the reactors, you probably will have heard, oh my god, copyright is a pain in the bollocks so far this season. So yeah, the reactions are quite short to try to keep them under 10 minutes, just for fair use and to just at least try and have a leg to stand on should copyright issues arise. So I put a more extended version up on Patreon along with a bunch of other reactions. There's ongoing reactions currently to things like The X-Files, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The 100, Daredevil. I'm starting up reactions to Star Trek soon enough, and I'm also doing a bunch of movies. I'm working through the MCU, and I'm just coming to the end of the X-Men. And then I'll be starting other franchises once I finish them. But yeah, the link is below, and the link to my Twitter, my Instagram, everything that you need, should you want to find me anywhere else, is down below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.